I know you are very busy right now because your big event is coming up, Young Minds. So let's start with that. So, what is this Young Minds about? When did it start? And how did you conceive this idea? So, a little bit about the backstory of Young Minds. Hello and welcome once again to Say Something with Mads, a channel exclusively dedicated to young change makers. So today I am delighted to welcome Manan Singh from, he's basically from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh, but he is currently in Delhi. So he is in a truest way a change maker, youth change maker. He is a global ambassador, youth ambassador, and he has been working with public policy and creating impact, socially creating impact from a very young age. So we have a lot to catch up. So let's welcome to my channel, Manan. How are you feeling today?
Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm feeling great, and it's a pleasure to be here at your channel today. And thank you for hosting me.
Thank you so much, Manan. And yes, we are ready to dive into your work, your life. So, first and foremost, I know you are very busy right now because your big event is coming up, Young Minds. So, let's start with that. So, what is this Young Minds about? When did it start? And how did you conceive this idea? So, a little bit about the backstory of Young Minds. Over to you.
Definitely, I think the Young Minds Changemakers Summit is something all of us are looking forward to. And I thank you for your support during the summit as well. I'll quickly give you a brief of Young Minds and
When is
then
it?
also
When is the summit and where is it for the viewers, those who are listening, maybe in Delhi, they want to join?
definitely. So the Young Minds Changemakers Summit is happening in partnership with and at the OP Jindal Global University from the 13th to 15th of December.
Okay.
And the idea behind the summit is that we wish to invite change makers from all across India. And rather than them being on the other side of the table listening to panels, we want them to be part of stakeholder consultations, not only share the solutions they have been working on, but also indulge in cross sectoral conversations and collaborations. The idea is that we want to create a solution centric platform for the young change makers to have a conversation. All of these conversations across the 2.5 days will then be uh, curated and will be published in a report, which will be like a solution centric report from youth perspective. So, actionable steps. And then we'll also be taking continuous follow ups with these change makers on how they have developed from the suggestions they received during the summit and how their work has grown from that point of time.
Hmm.
So that is the vision we have for the Young Mind Changemaker Summit. And now, quickly giving you a brief of what Young Minds is. So, Young Minds, as a student of history, I would begin with the date. And Young Minds got founded on the 25th of January 2024. It's nearly 1 year now. And however, I have been working in the social development space since a very, very young age. So, the passion to work in the space was from childhood. So, that is one reason to start Young Minds. Second, I would give you a very quick anecdote of which really concluded for me that why I wanted to work with children specifically. So that was somewhere around the year 2021, where this after the second phase of COVID had ended, I was part of a winter donation drive, and in a prime locality in Lucknow, prime market locality in Lucknow, there was actually public toilet opposite which there was a temporary residential place which where two men were living with a child, and I was having a small interaction with the father of the child, who was at that point somewhere around 10:30 in the night again. um, 10:30 again, I say, because it's 10:30 here in India
Yeah.
at this point as well. So was writing something on a Hindi notebook.
Hmm.
So I asked him about what education is he pursuing, what class is he in. So he said he was not going to school. And I asked him that why is he not enrolled in an online school in that case. So he said, oh, we don't have the resources, and also the government schools are shut, at least the one he was initially enrolled in. And the statement he told me next was that he was like, Manan, if what even if he studies, he also has to at the end of the day come back and work just like me and clean the public toilets which are there. So it was that mindset actually which really hit me, and I wanted to work something around that kind of a mindset and how young people who not only in Indian families but families all across the world are a ray of hope for the family. I wanted that I can work with young people, with youth, so that they can not only be agents of change for their families, not only make a better living for themselves, but also be agents of change for their local communities. And then I think the third point, which directly led me to forming Young Minds, was in my first semester at university, where I was indulged in in a course called Interdisciplinary Seminar 1, where we had a couple of field visits, and I decided to pursue the topic of my field visit as education. So we were working in Sonipat, which is a tier 3 or can also be considered as the tier 4 city in India. And I was serving government schools, interacting with school teachers, children, principals. What I realized was that there is a change that these children need to take after grade 8, and they need to shift schools.
Mhm.
In that shifting process, there was also a lot of leakage happening.
Mm.
And not only was there a leakage, but these children themselves were putting up stalls, were going back to their family businesses, not particularly agriculture, but were not being able to make a better livelihood for themselves even after pursuing education till middle school also. And
Mm.
then the curriculum was also not very robust and not very
Mm.
holistic.
Mm.
So that then I emerged with the idea of Young Minds. So now at this point, Young Minds has two projects: Young Minds Speak and Young Minds Dream. Young Minds Dream works with eighth grade government school students, and it's a curriculum we have designed on our own, where we work on their capacity building and personal growth through 21st century skills. So we work on four aspects, which is or four soft skills, which is collaboration, communication skills, creativity, and critical thinking through various modules. And as 21st century skills suggest, that it also includes a lot of uh, basic understanding of things like digital literacy, financial literacy, climate action, because 21st century is a very holistic methodology curriculum in itself. So when we talk about these four soft skills, we talk it through these various uh, subjects or topics, which are uh, like climate action, or it will be regarding career guidance. We may have we have a session on financial literacy. So we have created our own curriculum where we work on eight model curriculum where we work with eighth grade government school students.
Okay.
And the second project is Young Mind Speak, where we work with budding young change makers on providing them mentorship so that they are able to build a strong foundation and helps them grow in future, while providing them a platform to interact with each other, collaborate, because social development is a space which is a very collaborative space, because everyone has the same goal and the same vision to make the planet a better place to live in.
Mm.
So we want to enable collaborations, and that is what Young Minds Speak does, and that is the
Mm.
idea behind Young Minds.
Right. As I was listening to you, so many questions were coming to my mind because you are working on the ground. Tell me, um, you are doing all this with grade 8 children, you want to give them soft skills, etc. So, where is the question of I'm just thinking of from the financial point of view. How is Young Mind surviving? With what kind of money? Do you have some resources? Do you get donations? How does this work in the long run, for sustaining it, for actually creating an impact? Is it an NGO status? Where are you getting funds from?
Sure. So we are looking forward to registering Young Minds soon, and we are in the due process for that. We are currently bootstrapped, but for the Young Minds Changemaker Summit, we were grateful to receive little bit funding. The university has supported us in various ways in providing us the venue for the summit, in providing accommodation for the summit. But when it comes to the two projects of Young Minds, we work on a non-monetary basis as of now,
Okay.
and we have a very small team.
Mm-hmm.
Once, so we'll also during the summit we'll be formally adopting the curriculum
Mm.
during the closing ceremony. So once we do that, we'll be looking to open chapters all across India where
Yes.
the curriculum can be implemented by various chapter heads and chapter teams, so that the imparting of soft skills can happen all across the country. And the curriculum has been designed in a way where it can be contextualized as per
Need of the
the geography and the area and the population, because we realize each area is different. So the broader themes remain the same, the format remains the same, but
right.
activities, the method, or the mediums can change as per the context it is being imparted in.
So you said at the onset that the curriculum has been designed by you and your team. So what kind of research went into it to design the curriculum, or is it still in the developing phase as you, this is pretty new, right? It's just 1 year old. So are you following a module? Is something which you have studied somewhere or you have researched? What kind of things are going into this modules which you are going to implement?
Ma'am, in the formation of the module actually involves a lot of research.
Yeah.
And so obviously there is field work, there is continuous
Data
interaction with,
collection of data, collection of,
yes.
yes.
So there is field work, there is, and as and when we go to these, uh, go for our interventions also, we get feedback. We also do observation, analyze a lot of how people are responding to what we are doing on ground. And according to that, we keep molding the curriculum. Along with that, we have also studied the 21st century skills manuals, a lot of other soft skills manuals, which organizations all across the world have
Hmm.
been using, soft skill activities that they have been doing. So there has been a thorough studying of there. So there has been uh, actually there is a manual that exists which the NCRT and the government of India has created, which
Okay.
includes a lot of 21st century soft skills and how activities can be
Yes,
done.
correct. Hmm.
Uh, so similar such modules have been studied to curate the curriculum, and that is how we have been working.
Also, because the schools don't get time to implement them as a byproduct, like if you can do that, what schools don't have time for side by side. So collaboration with schools will work. So wonderful. It's just amazing to see that the module which you have thought about is really going to make a difference, I'm sure. I have one question though, which always comes to my mind. Is this soft skill, when they learn, they become more aware of what is going in the world? Are they in a position to actually give up what they're doing, what small work which they're doing with for their family to earn their day to day and actually make a difference? My second question is how important is knowing, yes, as you said, digital literacy. Every one of Everyone has a phone in hand, but what do they look in that phone? They're mindlessly scrolling different things which are of no use to them, actually, no motivation to do anything. That is one thing I want to know. And what about the language? What kind of, do they face problems if they actually don't know English? Do you think that is a kind of impediment, or you think that's okay even if they don't know English? I'm asking because I will tell you it's come from an experience, so I'm just
Right.
opening it to you. Yeah.
So I'll come to the language question first. Considering we work in Sonipat and Hindi is the language of the medium of education here. So we teach, Young Mind curriculum, at least in Sonipat, works in Hindi. So when we make our worksheets also, they are also in Hindi. The videos we show are in Hindi. The presentations we have are in Hindi. When I'm talking or when our team members are talking, we are talking in Hindi. So
Hmm.
our interaction is primarily Hindi, and that is
Hmm.
when I what I mentioned when it's
Hmm.
contextual.
Hmm. Hmm.
To understand how it is impacting their behaviors also. What we do in the curriculum is we do a pre-cap and a post-cap. So CAP, which is KAP, is knowledge, attitude, and practices assessment.
Okay.
And we try to analyze how our intervention has helped them get a better understanding of the various topics we covered. Uh, Thirdly, when it comes to how it benefits them, our idea is we realized at a very early stage that we are not an institution.
Mm,
So we cannot claim that we are making you an expert.
mm,
Neither did I want to make that claim.
mm,
What I realized that in any place we go, we can make only a uh, until and unless we are a formal institution with a space and where people are enrolling into our institution, we can only provide a limited intervention.
mm.
In that limited intervention, we provide them with sources. Along with that, we provide them with the understanding of what they already know, can how that can be used in various ways.
Okay.
So there is actually in a session there is an activity where we help them understand how just writing a letter
Mm,
can help them impact so many communities.
okay.
I'll give you an example. So letter writing is something we have always been doing in school, but and we have been writing letters to our principal for leave applications, etc. And that is how it is taught in our curriculum. One of the exercises that we do is, for example, there is a problem in your with someone in your locality. Maybe it be of sewage, may it be of electricity. If you know whom you can reach out to, you don't need to wait for anyone to solve that problem. You just take up a wavegen pen, you write a letter and submit it. You know how to do it. So we also help them uh, use their existing skills. And then when it comes to digital literacy, make them know about a lot of resources. So there is this application of the Indian government, which is Umang. We
Yeah.
take them through the Umang app. We take
Mm,
them through a lot of resources which Yuva provides.
mm.
We take them through government policies on how they can access skill development programs. So
That's nice. I mean,
the
yeah,
idea is yes. So
yeah.
we build a foundation so
Mm.
that they can then reach out
Explore
to
them
these
at them. Yeah.
resources. They can explore these resources
Mm.
and then grow further.
Right. Like it could be anything related to science they want to do. So where are they going to go? Where are the resources available? So you give them the idea that if you are in this field, you can go here, you can look into these kind of things. Okay, that's wonderful. I get it now. Yeah. Okay, because there are a lot of areas where you need to fine tune because you don't know exactly how it is going to pan out in the future, what is going to,
Exactly.
as and when you start. All right. So yes, so when you are doing it right now, I need to know where this uh, this whole idea, from which age it germinated, and how has been your home background to give you this, even think about this from such a young age. So yes, let us know about your childhood a bit.
Definitely. So my childhood, I think I like to call myself as the child of the development sector, as I've
Okay.
been involved in volunteering since a very young age.
Okay.
Uh, and so my mother is a social worker herself. She's a national
Okay.
award-winning social worker. She
Right.
runs this organization called SAS, which works with underprivileged children,
Okay.
runaways,
Ah.
and stations. And now she's working on a lot of
So
other projects
So
also.
are you involved with that as well, or you want to carve out a different niche for yourself and not join your mom? Is it two separate thing, or you plan to also help her in that in future?
So I keep helping her in whatever ways I can. So that is when I say that I've been involved in volunteering since childhood.
Ah,
So helping around with the office work, with events, with leading drives, donation drives, fundraising, all of that I've been helping her with, and that goes side by side. Young Minds is which is something completely separate, and that I've been doing of my own. Because what my mother did, she had she had looked at a problem, she looked at the target, that she wanted to achieve. And then finally, in 2014, if I'm not wrong, the 1098 child line is actually an idea which she envisioned and a program she launched in
Wow.
Lucknow. So in
Please share
2012,
her name also.
definitely. So she's Mrs. Chachi Singh, Shachi. You can look her up on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. She also does a lot of parenting and well-being coaching. So that is
Right.
also something new she has started. And I was just completing. So in 2012, the Lucknow Charbar railway station actually became the first child-friendly railway station in India, for
Mm.
which she got awarded the national award in 2014 by the then President of India, Sri Pranab Mukherjee. So I grew up in that kind of an environment, and my father is also someone who was really supportive and learned a lot of things from him about how he was leading his life, how he was contributing to the society himself. Then my school was also, I think I was a very active student. So both my schools helped me a lot in grooming myself. Since childhood, I had been involved in sports. So I've been playing basketball since class two. I've been playing tabla for the past 14 years. I
Okay.
also write poetry in Hindi and
Yes.
Hindustani.
Yes.
Uh, that I've been doing since 2019. I took up a lot of leadership positions in school, from junior head boy to events and sports secretary in class 11th. So I had a very holistic kind of upbringing since childhood. Went
Mm.
to a lot of competitions. I was so often out in school that teachers used to say, "Manan, come and study in school, also you pay the fees for the school." But
Mm.
then they were also very encouraging in sending us for all these opportunities. So I grew in that kind of an environment where I enjoyed whatever I did, learned a lot. So that kind of a uh, I've tried to learn from wherever, whomever I'm interacting with, and I love to learn.
Right. Um, of course, that's where it comes from. Are you ready with something to recite? I hope you have a poem which you have written with you or something. We can end with that if you want to. I'm not going to ask you to force you to do it, but if you have something written and you can read out to our audience, that would be very nice. But we'll keep it for the end. I have another question. If you have to write your autobiography now, what would be the title of the book?
Yes, one title which I would really like to have, which I
Mm,
have really lived by,
mm.
is that keep taking risks. So something around that,
Something that, yeah.
uh, that we should never hesitate from taking a risk,
Mm,
and at the end it will happen. So
mm.
my title would be a journey through successes and learnings.
Okay.
I would
Yes.
not call them failures. So a
Yeah.
journey through successes and learnings.
I when I'm interacting with you constantly and I've consciously see you avoid all negative words. You have refined and redefined the word failure and never use that negativity or never. There's a lot of positive terminology you use when you speak. Is it consciously? Yeah, are you consciously practicing it or you believe in that words have power to create that aura around you?
They definitely do, ma'am. And I very consciously practice using positive affirmations, because why say never,
Yes.
right? You sometimes you say stuff and it happens. And
Mm.
I'm not saying it on any religious or any spiritual basis. Or
Yeah.
if I negate that aspect also, uh, words travel,
Mm.
and they travel through sound. They come back, I feel, and and actually there are so many things which I said in the past, which I then think back when I'm sitting here today and say, oh, someday I was sitting and I just said it,
Mm.
right?
Right.
So there is this very famous comedian in India, Zakir Khan.
Okay.
He often says कि कभी कभी बड़ी बातें कह देनी चाहिए, right? सच हो जाती हैं. So you should just sometimes say stuff,
To the
because and if
universe.
you are putting in work, they actually do come true. It's not like you say, "Oh no, I want to become the next billionaire tomorrow," and then I sleep for the next 48 hours, right?
Yeah,
So you need
true.
to continuously put
Absolutely.
in work, but have positive affirmation.
Absolutely. So, yeah, We are doing this interview so late at night, and I really feel that there is so much good energy and positivity coming as if we are doing it fresh in the morning. And this has been a more riveting conversation, Manan. I'm so, so happy to have you. And anywhere, anything else I can do to help your cause. And the people who are listening, I'm sure we are looking at some a very big budding. I don't know where he's going to be, but we are going to sure see more of you. So to before the end of this, there is a role reversal. You get to ask me a question, and that's how the tradition of this talk is. So what would you ask me? Any question?
One question, ma'am, that I would like to ask you is that you have had, I think, as you mentioned before we started this interaction, this is around your 96th conversation and 96th podcast. In the past 95 podcasts, if you were to pick one maybe aspect of the conversation or one learning, not particularly from another person, but in your journey of doing the podcast with young people, one thing about young people that uh, you maybe learned in this journey, which you maybe may not have been very
Yeah,
sure of before that, or
absolutely.
one aspect that you learned from them, if you could highlight that.
That's a wonderful question, Manan, because every time I end an interview, I have a book where I write a paragraph about what are my learnings, what are the suggestions I got from a young people, what are the books they read which I should read, because I have a section where I ask the names of books, what are the movies they are
Right.
watching that I should watch. So I have a name of each in my interviewee and then their takeaways, their quotes, and those have become a part of me where I learned from Manan today. I will be using it again somewhere else. And that's why I still have connection with my first interviewee because I still know what I got from them. So every interview has given me something which makes me grow as an interviewer. Not only that, when I am in communicating, when I'm taking my coaching, when I'm speaking on stage, every one of you comes within me, becomes a part of me. What comes out my mouth is sometimes what you have said. So that is
Right.
how I look at it. So yeah, thank you.
And that's wonderful.
That's a wonderful question. In fact, as you said, I just flashbacked on all my interviews and say how many se ye liya tha, isse wo liya tha. And when I talk, actually they are talking through me. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So can I ask you for a poem of yours to recite to end it?
Definitely, if you allow me to read, I think I'll just
Yes,
pull something out.
absolutely. Nothing better to end this interview with your own poems.
Right. As I mentioned about concept of time, I'll read something on time that I had written a couple of, I think last year is
Oh,
when I
wow.
wrote the poem. And it's a nazm and it's titled Waqt. Though I
Okay.
remember it, but I still want to keep it open in front of me so that I
Yes.
don't forget.
Yes.
So it बड़े विचित्र गुण है वक्त के, बड़े विचित्र गुण है वक्त के, सब कुछ करना होता है वक्त पे, काम से इंसान को छुट्टी है मिलती नहीं, पर चलती हुई घड़ी की सुई भी कभी रुकती नहीं। किस किस में बटा है वक्त, कितनों को देना है वक्त, कितनों से वक्त देने के किए हैं वादे, पर मशरूफ रखते हैं सभी को कुछ कर गुजरने के इरादे। Just for the audience, the word mashroof, if
Yes.
not known to a lot, mashroof means difficult or busy. So generally, the word mashroof is when you are busy with a lot of things. So पर मशरूफ रखते हैं सभी को कुछ कर गुजरने के इरादे। वक्त किसके पास ही होता है, कहाँ ही किसी का हुक्म वक्त पर चलता है, कहाँ कभी किसी के लिए रुकता है वक्त, क्योंकि वो तो वक्त है, वो हर लम्हा गुजरता है, क्योंकि वो तो वक्त है, वो हर लम्हा गुजरता है। कौन है जो कर पाया है काबू वक्त, कौन है जो कर पाया है काबू वक्त को, हर जना वक्त के इशारों पर ही तो चलता है, खाली वक्त कहाँ ही होता है किसी के पास, कभी कभी वक्त निकालना पड़ता है। हर एक दिन का वक्त तो निश्चित है, सभी के दिन में एक बराबर ही तो वक्त है, ये वक्त भी बता के तो खत्म होता नहीं, क्यों ना जिया जाए जितना भी अपने पास वक्त है, हर वक्त कुछ ना कुछ काम है, खुद को बेहतर बना पाना परिश्रम का अंजाम है। पर ये कैसा परिश्रम जिसमें अपने और अपनों के लिए भी वक्त ना हो, क्योंकि ये तो वक्त है, वो हर लम्हा गुजरता है, क्योंकि वो तो वक्त है, वो हर लम्हा गुजरता है। थैंक यू।
Wow. I think there is no better word to end this. I would love to, because I speak a lot. So I would love to recite this, giving you the quote that Manan Singh has written